Miller, and I'm 90 years old, and I live here in a lovely village called Walnut Village. I was married to Donald F. Miller, who was an electrical engineer, and we have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. That's Cindy and Laurel, and Kevin and Brian. And we've just had a wonderful life, and I'd like to share it with you. I was married for 48 years, and lost my husband, and kind of had another 20-some years since then. But he was the love of my life, and I couldn't have had a more wonderful, caring husband. Oh, so many things. I mean, we cared about the same things. We enjoyed each other's company so much. We just, it was just, I mean, I think that everyone that falls in love knows that that's the person. And that's why they're falling in love with them, is because they have this camaraderie, this constant, everything kind of coming together, the fun of the joy of finding there's somebody that thinks about things kind of the same way you do, who appreciates things the way you do, who has the same like credentials as far as what you expect and what you think are your obligations to a commitment to a person. I think that all comes into play, that love grows out of that. My wedding day, I had a beautiful letter from my husband in the morning. Well, it wasn't a letter, it was a telegram then. And it was, he telegraphed me and told me how much he loved me and was so looking forward to us. We were married in the evening, in fact, in front of the Christmas tree. I did research work for the University of California. We went out and got panels together for different studies for Medicare, and I wrote the protocol for it, and then interviewed the people for being a part of the study, deciding on whether they were going to get funding. And it was very interesting. I met a lot of interesting people, and just had fun doing it. I have so many stories of every member of my family, but the one that I kind of treasure is that so often we have in our mind that we're a person of influence in our family's life, and so often you go along and you're doing things, and nothing seems to stand out as that you're making a special impact. But this instance was that Aaron, who is my second grandchild, came up to me at Christmas. This was about 3 years ago now, and he said, "I have something for you, Grandma." And so he had with him, he had this locket, and inside the locket he had a piece of paper, and this piece of paper says, "Do unto others what you have them do unto you, and treat others the way you like to be treated." And he says, "Grandma, when you told me that when I was a 5-year-old boy," he says, "I took that to heart. And so I want to tell you that I live my life that way, and I'm giving you this locket as a memorial of that." And that was such a treasured thing in my heart that I picked it today to share with you. Oh, I think the best life lesson is to try to take everything in your life as being meaningful, and that you constantly have as your goal the best person that you can possibly be. And the life lesson is to live that. And as Aaron says, to treat others the way you like to be treated, to share with everyone, to love everyone the way you like to be loved, to care about everyone the way you like to be cared for. So that actually it all kind of goes, it's the same thing. It's always being the best person that you can possibly be. And then you've got to let it go at that. You've done your best. I feel that the most important thing we can do with the life that we've been given is to be the best person in that life, as an example of what we hope will carry on in the family. And I think my husband and I have kind of shared that with our children in their growing up processes, that to treat others the way you like to be treated is a wonderful moral legacy to leave behind yourself, and then to have it exemplified by my grandson Aaron giving me the heart with that in the center, just kind of brought that to flower, and that it did stick. Even though you think sometimes they don't hear you at all. And to find out that that was something that as a little boy he grabbed onto and thought that was important. And that tugs my heart. I am very proud of all my children and all my grandchildren, and have felt blessed that I was, in fact, I always say to them, I'm glad you chose me, because I feel that each one of us really is in the life we're in because in some way this matrix works itself through, and you are with the people that you're supposed to be with. And so I feel that that is kind of like our family's legacy, is that we will keep on doing what we feel is right, and loving each other and caring for each other and enjoying that process.
You mentioned it when I came in. You're talking about like you're 90 and you're learning kind of a new life here. What is something that's kind of funny that you've learned in this season of your life? Like you're 90 years old, something that you learned about yourself or learned about people or just learned about life, something that's just like you would have never known it unless you turned 90.
I think that's kind of a big order, because in fact, I mean, I never dreamed I'd be 90, and I still don't think I'm 90. It's one of those things that you think it's a place you come to that you don't expect to come to. But just to take your life with a grain of salt, that it isn't that critical. What is happening, which we think is at that time world shaking, is just a little blip in the screen, so to speak. And this will pass. If it's something that's not so harmonious, it will pass. And so I have kind of, I think my life lesson basically is, just enjoy it, be appreciative of it, enjoy what's a part of it, and don't worry the little stuff.